I might be a little quiet right now. I'm on the side of my mic.
Okay. How was work?
It was work.
I felt that. Okay.
First and
Talking
foremost,
about
what
okay,
episode
go.
of My Hero did you just finish?
I just started the latest season, which is season 6. The first episode
Okay.
where they have you seen it?
Yeah, so I was saying
Yeah.
that this season, season 6, is the
Uh
best
huh.
one since season 3. I think season 4 and 5 were dog shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it peaked at season 3, and then I was very dissatisfied with 4 and 5, and then by the end of season 6, my favorite episode, I think, in all of My Hero had aired, and I was like, damn, it's a good season. So I think hopefully you'll enjoy it. But like I said, I didn't like season 4 or 5. I didn't think they were terrible, but like they were a huge letdown compared to season.
hmm I enjoyed. I don't really remember much of the seasons now that I'm thinking about it, but I
How
enjoyed
I
season
felt.
two's opening as my favorite. So that's the one that sticks out the most to me.
Which opening was that?
It's I don't know
Is
the
it
name
the?
off the top of my head,
It's
but they're
not
like
the.
stretching in the opening.
But it's not the. It's not the. Oh man, that's gonna embarrass myself trying.
That might be it actually.
I think that
I'm gonna
might
look
be
it
the
up right
one.
now. I'm gonna look it up right now on
And the guitar comes in. It's like
YouTube. No,
not that one.
the
Okay,
opening is.
that might
I'll
be
send you.
season
I'll
one.
put the link.
All right, I'll listen to it.
I just send this to you directly.
I mean, I can just look at My Hero
No.
opening season 2.
Season 2, yeah. That opening had me in a chokehold for quite some time. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Whoa, whoa,
hmm
oh.
But yeah, this one, where they were like going through the gauntlet of like fighting one another and
That
whatnot.
is,
Like this is peak, and then the Stain arc was like super peak as well. And then yeah, I think 4 and 5 are
bro. If
kind of meh.
you like the Stain arc,
I already know what to expect with this one. The first episode they ran down on the hospital and they're like
yeah,
Miracle like bust through like 6 nomus already. She's
bro,
she's so sick. She's so sick
yeah,
already.
man. I heard like manga fans just telling like anime onlys being like, just wait, bro, just wait for the bunny girl. And I was like, all right, okay, y'all just like her because you're a bunch of furries. That's fine. But then I was like, holy shit, bro, she is. There's a reason. What is she like? Rank? She's like top 10.
She's 5.
She's
She's
5.
5, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Which is that's saying a lot because like think about like All My Endeavor and like how powerful they are. Like, yeah,
Now that I'm like well, again, I'm only on the first episode. But like doing a bit of power scaling, like of course that Nomu was like tailor made for Endeavor, the one that he had to fight and he had to
yeah,
like go like supernova,
yeah,
which was sick as fuck.
yeah.
But seeing how she's like blasting through these Nomus,
Not only that, but like she's getting fucked up too. Like,
I haven't seen her get fucked up. Literally, she hasn't done anything. It's literally just her like she blasts through the door and she's like, "Oh, are you the real one?" And then the episode ended there. So
right?
once we finish this, I'm getting back to watching that next
I
episode.
got you. I got you. Oh, it's good. It's good. You watching dub or sub? Not that it matters. Just
Dub,
curious.
I
Sub. Okay,
yeah,
fair
I
enough.
never watched dub.
Fair enough. I've
Actually, I watched dub a couple times. Never as a first watch though. Definitely like if I'm rewatching a show and like I'm doing other things, like if I'm editing or if I have like other people over, then I'll throw on dub for them. But other than that, like I'm not watching dub.
got you. I will say because I have seen both. Um, all the way. Like I watched season 6 as it was airing, and then
Mm-hmm.
as after the dub released, I watched the dub too. Because like I said, my favorite episode is like It's like the second or third to last episode of the season.
Mhm.
Um, and I watched because and like I watched it like 3 times in Japanese, and every time I cried. And then I was like, okay, let me hear it in English and see if it has that same effect. And
Uh-huh.
I will say, admittedly, I do like the dub, respect the dub. The sub episode definitely. There's just something about
Something about it,
there's
right?
something about it. The voice
Yeah.
acting,
Yes.
the way
Mhm.
they sometimes too, like some things get like lost in translation or like even
Yep.
mistranslated, or like it
Yep.
doesn't just quite hit like as poignantly as like originally written like by the mangaka like in their native tongue. Also, Deku's voice actor is fantastic, as is Bakugo's. Good old Nishinoya.
Yes.
All right, we can talk
Man.
about. I'm happy to keep talking about my hero, but we can talk about other stuff whenever you want.
Yeah, yeah, no. Let's just
By the
the
way,
recent
I
season
I do want to
of
say just real quick,
go ahead.
no shade, no feelings to be hurt. We just goofing around. All right, like your
Yeah,
opinion
this is
is
yeah,
valid. Okay.
opinion talk, yeah. The recent season, I'll go like broad and then I'll go like a little bit narrower. The recent season of
Uh,
Demon Slayer,
mm.
I think out of all the seasons, this is probably the worst one.
You know what? I don't disagree with you. I'd say the pacing. I think also like we came off like I was saying earlier. Season 2 was just such a hype train.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
then to kind of like it definitely it's like we just like peaked and now we kind of just like riding the waves down. Um, not that it's bad by
Mhm.
any means, but for sure
Mhm.
I would agree that like I'd say season 2 and then season 1 and then season.
And then season 3. Yeah, definitely. And I my reason for disliking season not even disliking,
Yeah,
it's good.
but
My reason for thinking it was mid though is like a lot of the explanations that we got about certain characters were just kind of brushed past or like I know Demon Slayer we're not getting like some super well thought out intricate way for
at
like
the end of
characters
the day,
surviving
it's a
like a
battle
Inosuke
shonen.
moving his organs like that was
Yeah.
but that was a previous season, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna let it slide, it is what it is. But this season, like Michael Jackson was just like he just kind of came to be a demon and that was it. He had medicine, he had a little bit of Pepto Bismol and he was a demon. I wasn't really a fan of that. I really didn't enjoy that, and I didn't enjoy them like not talking about Nezuko. Just like maybe if there was some hint that like okay Nezuko was maybe she's different, you know, like she is different. I get that she's
Well,
different because she's fighting her off her urges to not eat people, and
but
she's like a
also
different demon,
yeah,
right? But like
she's like a half demon, something like that. She's not like a she's yeah, she's different. But however different she is, I don't know exactly, but yeah, she's different.
right, and
And
I just
the like
mhm.
head demon guy noticed that about her too, right? Like in the previous season or something. Someone noticed about Nezuko. They were like, "Oh shit! Like, damn, yeah, there's something unique about you."
Who noticed that?
I can't remember if it was the like leader demon or if it was maybe the demon that she stomped out, and like as she was getting stomped out, she was like, I don't know. You know how with some of the demons now we're looking at Tanjiro and they were like, oh, he's the sun breather guy, but like from the past or whatever. He's like, this is the guy that Muzan saw like almost died to. I
Mhm.
almost get like that vibe. Like some of these demons, like when they're like really getting fucked up by Nezuko, they're like, oh shit, like fuck, she's on a different level. We didn't know. We didn't know.
I don't
I could be
I
wrong
can't
about that.
remember an instinct of that. I do know when she was fighting the brother system tandem, and she was like fighting the sister, and the sister was like you're not like the other demons. Like I get that, but that's because like demons don't typically like it's not like they're fighting to the death with one another. You know what I'm talking
Well,
about? It's kind of
also
like
she fights.
yeah,
She doesn't even fight for herself like at all, which is like
right,
yeah, she literally is fighting to protect Angelo
a human.
or
Hmm.
listen to whatever he tells her to do.
Right. No, I get that. I don't know. I'm the type of person who like I want more when it comes to explaining what's happening and not just like, all right, well, we did this,
Yeah,
and
just hey,
then you're
this is
supposed to
a
just
special power you get.
right,
Congratulations.
exactly. Like I like what they do with Tanjiro, with what they do with Zen and Inosuke. Like they show them training for periods of a time,
Well,
and even like with this season where they didn't go intensive with the training, they were just like, all right, well, these guys are already healed up and they're out. Like you got some training to do to catch up, and like he did some training to catch up, and then he even fought like the doll or whatever. Like I enjoyed that because
oh
it's like, all
yeah,
right,
that was
now
really
I
cool.
understand why they went from where they were at before to where they're at now. But like,
The thing with the doll that was really cool too is that it was training, but he also like he got something like he earned something out of it. He got
yeah,
he got his sword.
hmm
That was pretty
yeah, super sick. My problem with Nezuko is the fact that we don't see any of that for her ever. She's just in the box. And I get why she's in the box. Like I understand that part. It's just I don't like that she's the exception to the rule. And then she's not just the exception to the rule of humans, she's also exception to the rule of demons as well, where the demons they have to eat people to get stronger or they get blood from Michael Jackson. Like it's one of the two, like either of those get you stronger. She hasn't gotten any of those, and she's in fights with the upper, what is it, like 13 or something, or like 11? I forget how many it actually is, but the upper level demons. And it's like I'm not really a fan of that because Tanjiro has to go through so much training. Zen, Inosuke, the Hashira, even the upper level demons, they have to go through this certain level of training to get to where they are. And Nezuko's just like, well, I sit in a box all day, so here I am.
yeah. I mean, I can agree that she has like the most like plot armor and just like straight up like she just gets what she needs when she needs it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like Tanjiro is like literally like getting the wind knocked out of him and then trying to
Mm-hmm.
tell himself keep breathing, don't stop breathing, get up, move. Like he's like ankle is like broken and he's like no, it doesn't matter that your ankle's fucking broken, keep going. Like
Right.
like
He's constantly thinking during fights. I really enjoy that. And that's why he's starting to grow on me.
the same thing with the guy that was eating the I can't remember his name, Mohawk kid that was eating the
I
demons.
think it's Genya. I want to say
Yeah, yeah,
it's
I
something
think
with a G, but I think it's
Genya or
Genya.
Genro or yeah,
Something like
I
that,
think
yeah.
it's Genya. Also,
Hmm.
I like how he just like straight up like hated Tanjiro, and Tanjiro just like killed him with kindness. It just like he was just like, okay, well if you don't like me, that's fine, but I'll be over here training when you want to train or whatever. And he's just like dumbfounded. He's like, you idiot, I don't want to like you.
Right,
Quit
right,
trying to make
right.
me like you. I don't want to be your friend. Tanjiro's Tanjiro's I do love Tanjiro. I think they're a really good protagonist. I think that's one of Demon Slayer's greatest strengths. Honestly, any good shonen is they have a good group, especially Tanjiro.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like it's hard to really mess up protagonists, especially in shonen, because it's you don't really have to go too far out of the comfort zone when it comes to formula,
Yeah,
right? As long as your main character like tries to believe in themselves, push those people around them, and just ultimately fighting for the betterment of everybody, then like you have a pretty good main character.
and you can always do the classic like trope, i.e., Naruto, where you make them intentionally like unlikable at the start so that you can
Mm,
easily like build them up to something greater later on.
right, right.
Speaking of though, that is also why I will go back real quick to
Mm,
Bakugo as a character.
mm,
I love I also relate to Bakugo a lot. Their competitiveness, their
mm.
drive to want to be the best,
Yes.
their frustration with themselves once they feel like they're falling behind their peers,
Mm,
um, and also their desire to do it on their own. To like tell
yes.
like All Might like I don't need your help or your sympathy. Like I'm gonna be even better than you. Like I love their tenacity. I think that's probably the best word to describe Bakugo. Is they're incredibly tenacious to a fault, I'd say at
Oh
sometimes.
yes, yes, tenacious and prideful. Yes,
Yeah,
that's for sure.
very very prideful for sure.
Hmm.
A big ego, which is dude when he wins the sports festival and he has like the
Yes,
muzzle on and he's
yes.
like barking and they put the medal over him. Uh, no, I hated Bakugo in like the first season and a half of My Hero, and like at this point
Now,
they're
why did you hate Bakugo though?
because they were a bully to Deku, and I was just like they're just a big meanie. And then I was like, and then I realized, and I was like, holy shit, I'm literally Bakugo. And then there was a lot of self reflection and introspection, and then I was like, damn, I need to maybe chill out a little bit with how that pride. They're Vegeta, dude, and Vegeta chills out over time. You know what I mean? It's
uh,
they need to they need to be humbled. But once they are humbled, they're a great character in my opinion. So
yeah, I was always a fan of Bakugo just because like you said, I relate to the you relate to the
I
character.
do,
I
yes,
relate to
for
the
sure.
character like a lot.
It it took me a while to realize like and then it was like a switch flipping. I was like, oh damn, actually, fuck yeah.
This is me. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
I think I didn't like him because it was the traits that I didn't like about myself that I was identifying with, like
Hmm.
subconsciously.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And then I kind of realized
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. No, I get that. I get that.
Yo,
I
what's
think
up, Kiwi?
I recognized it immediately though. Like when I was looking at Bakugo and he was like being mean to Deku. It's because like there are people, and this is terrible of me to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. There are people around you who like you just don't deem to be on your same level. So when you see them surpass you or succeed, it like strikes a chord within you, and you're like, bro, like they're
Yeah,
not on my level. They shouldn't be anywhere near where I'm at. And it's frustrating me that they're surpassing me in things that I know I'm better than them at. And I recognize that in Bakugo, and I was like, oh yeah. He's gonna be great. Like he's gonna be a great character.
especially too when they saw Deku like using like learning from them, and they were like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
They're literally getting better because of like a sparring. Like, what? Damn it! Like, it's
He's
it's
learning
it's
as he fights.
it's like
Yes.
it's like dude, it's like going back to H box back in the day, like not doing friendlies because he didn't want people to get puff practice. Like, you know, it's like nah, man, I want to be the best for as long as I can, whatever it takes. Yo. By the way, Kiwi, thanks for the bits, man. I appreciate that. How you doing, friend? We're just having some
um,
anime banter. We're just chilling, talking about anime over here.
Going back to the other characters though, I
Are we still talking about Demon Slayer or My Hero?
no, we're going back to Demon Slayer.
Okay, Demon Slayer.
I for Inosuke and Zenitsu, right?
Mhm.
I enjoy both of those characters. Because I enjoy wild characters, so that's
Yeah.
why I like Inosuke. Inosuke is just he
Inosuke is
he's
just.
off the walls wild. Like I love that. I love
I
that. When we
also
first
love
introduced
that
him,
when they took the mask off, that they're like the prettiest character in the show.
he's so pretty. Yes,
But with like
yes.
the worst person, they're the one person in the show that would not care about their looks whatsoever, and it's like, but they're still the best. Like,
And they're drop dead gorgeous.
yeah,
No, exactly. And I enjoy that competitiveness in Inosuke where
I do
he
too.
sees Tanjiro doing things and he's like, I could
Push-ups.
do that.
Yeah,
Like
he's
I
like,
gotta do that
I gotta
too.
do push-ups. I gotta do I gotta like stretch my legs behind my back
Yes,
and
yes.
snort and then sprint.
I really enjoy his character because like not even like character traits aside, like when he's with everybody else, like of course he wants to do it all on his own,
Mhm.
and he's he's like a mini Bakugo in a sense where like he wants to do these things on his own, but his character is different because he recognizes that there are things he can't do, and he
Yeah,
recognizes that he sees that in Zenitsu, he sees that in Tanjiro, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna try and get better alongside these people, but he's still him. He's still this like weird, grew up in the mountains type kid, so he
yeah,
has like his
yeah, for
own
real.
spin to that, and I really enjoy that.
I
I
also
like
do like that his
Zenitsu.
quirkiness is explained because of that
Yes,
aspect. It's not
yes.
he's not just like a wild person. It's like no, this he is a product of his environment and like how he grew up.
Right, exactly. I enjoy Zenitsu because in this world of characters where Inosuke is more of the regular one, because when you look at all the Hashira, they're all crazy.
They are,
All
yeah.
the other
Mhm.
demons and whatnot, like Tanjiro is the main. Like when you look at these characters, they're kind of crazy. They all have a screw loose. But
Yeah,
when you look at Zenitsu, Zen is like, all right, we're fighting demons. Like, we could lose our life. This is scary. Like, I don't want to do this. And I like that because it's a stark contrast to almost everybody in the show. Like, I really enjoy that about his character because it about his character and what it provides for the show. Now, him as a character, yes, there's a lot to be desired, but there's a lot to be desired in the writing in the show in general for all the characters.
Yeah,
So when it comes to like, are these well written characters?
not always.
Not
At
always,
at
exactly.
times, at times, I think Demon Slayer gets such a big pass simply because of its animation.
Yes,
Like
animation
because
carries so
it
hard.
is, and sound design too, because they really go hand in hand. But like they don't miss, and when they really try to hit it out of the park, dude, they
And I think they found that perfect balance with like going super crazy hardcore on the animation.
mhm.
Then you have scenes where you're looking at Tanjiro and his eyes are just black dots, and he's just like
Yeah,
this little
yeah,
cute fucking blob. Like they really have that tandem
like
of cutesy to hardcore. Like they do such a good
Nezuko
job with
being
that.
like small and like running around, and like Tanjiro like giving her head pats, and
Yes,
her just being like,
yes,
"Woo, woo." And then
right.
yeah, 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 there are moments like that for sure, for sure.
And they do such a great job. Now,
It-
like when Zen and Inosuke aren't on the screen, I do kind of consider them the trio. And when they're not there, I was like, like I'm kind of missing out on my two guys because I've grown to like that first. I, a lot of people forget that Zen was probably one of the more hyper characters you saw in the beginning because Zen did that like he was fighting that spider guy and he was like poisoned and he did that his zigzag. Have you played the Demon Slayer game?
oh no, I haven't played the game, but I know it's pretty much like a Ultimate Ninja Storm. It's like the
Yeah, yeah,
Naruto
yeah,
game,
yeah.
but yeah, but then Demon
Yeah,
Slayer.
yeah, yeah. So like his little ultimate in that game, like it's based off of that, and like that was like when everybody saw it, that was sick. Like that was
I
probably top two moments in that season. It was that one, and then it was when Nezuko did her like demon blood
let let
and
me
Tanjiro they're fighting the guy.
let
Go
me
ahead.
interject real quick. I do agree that it is that when he does that, it is one of the most badass moments. But this is also why I like. It's hard for me to give him credit because it's like, was that even him? Like, yes, it was him, but like, brother,
Mhm.
dude, I'm just hoping at some point in the show he just learns how to flip that switch and he doesn't have to.
Yes,
But
I agree. I 1000% agree.
but I agree, it is like first. But I think also why it's so badass is because they set him up to just be like, please do something like just anything, and then it's like, oh shit, you did that. Oh,
Yeah,
okay, okay, cool, cool. That was badass.
the stark contrast. Yeah, it's
At
really
the
good.
stark contrast, I can see it. I can see it.
I
It does go from, you know, like, wow, I can't stand this guy, to like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Like, damn.
holy shit, he's so cool.
I'm happy he's around actually because
Yes,
fuck, they got
yes.
actually really useful and he needs to be.
And I'm waiting for him to, like you said, I'm waiting for him to like flip that switch. You can do it while he's awake because
Mhm.
in the second season where he's fighting the entire time, sleep, unconscious. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, yeah, I can suspend disbelief only, but so much. You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
So like, uh, so I get why people don't enjoy him, but I outside of like his fighting character, like his annoying scaredy cat character, I enjoy that as well. But
Mhm.
like with and I'm gonna get a lot of flack with Nezuko, we just don't see much of anything besides her just being a cute little sister. You know what I'm talking about? She even gets smaller to like emphasize the fact that she's this little sister, and she gets head pats. Like she doesn't say any,
She
she doesn't have any
does.
lines. She gets paid
Hmm,
billions of
hmm,
dollars to say like not a
hmm,
billions of
hmm.
dollars exaggeration, but she gets paid a lot of money to say
Yeah, I
like.
know. I
And
know.
am I supposed to like that? Like she's cute, but like, do I like her character? No, she hasn't showed me a character. She
Well,
just gets head pats.
okay, I I can understand where you're coming from, but I will argue against that to say that she does have. I mean, she showed. I think. that's kind of like the point of her is because she can't talk, but she
Yeah.
still at times does show incredible emotion, whether it's rage,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's I want to protect, this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much
That's
it,
it.
right?
Yeah. So I can't really think of another, but she,
and and if you like that, like that's fine. Like there's nothing wrong with liking that. It's just that, like me personally, I want a little bit more.
yeah. I understand. I will say though, just in terms of character design, her like blood art is really cool, but I really like the way like the flower and the like the leaves, like almost like the tattoo or the like what I'm talking about. Henna art.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
How
How it
like
envelops her body.
I just think it's a really cool. I just think it looks cool.
No, it's sick. It is sick.
And the like blood art, how she's able to like turn Tanjiro's blade into
That was
like a fire
that one
sword.
was sick. That
Yeah,
was so hype.
dude,
I'm actually.
I
Go ahead.
love because like it's almost like JoJo when they were like all about like breathing and like hormone, you know what I mean, before they everyone had a stand.
You know what's funny? I stopped watching JoJo's like season 2. So like I never even
Okay,
got to stands.
okay. Well, so but you at least know like at the beginning
Yeah,
it was like
everybody gets to stands and all that.
but at the beginning it was like hormone. It was like you have to like have your
Yeah,
like breathing like perfect and I think that
and
that's
this
a
energy
really
about you and all that.
like
Yeah.
almost like chakra and stuff like that. It's like really diving into that like ancient like Japanese Chinese like mystic culture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but I like that in Demon Slayer, like there's such an emphasis on like there's not only different breathing styles, but there's like different like levels of your like breathing method.
Hmm.
And how like Tanjiro I love when he does the like the bite or like you know what I mean, and like the like
Yeah.
flames almost come out of his mouth when he goes into like
Yeah.
that. Like that is just it's just
It's
such a
sick.
cool
It's
thing.
sick.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he's also like I like that they touched on it in the earlier seasons that like, oh, you have a black blade, like people like you, they don't usually stick with one style, they're usually all over the place. I enjoy the fact that he's using multiple styles.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy the fact that he has not used water style in a long time. That was his first style. I would like to see him rely on his basics a little bit more instead of like using what again why this season was mid is the fact that last season he could barely use the sun breathing
Mhm.
for he had like what like 6 7 uses or something, like it was limited. Now it's the only style he uses and it's
True.
like
And like under
come on now.
duress, which I kind of
Yeah.
talked about this earlier, but I think it's the fact that like they rely so much on breathing and then they literally like will get the wind knocked out of them and it's like fuck, like now I can't do anything because I can't breathe. I just kind of like that aspect. I think it adds a little bit of like interesting stuff. It's not something I've seen really in another anime. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
like of course I see people like get the wind knocked out of them, they get punched so hard in the gut that like they puke or whatever, but it's not like debilitating. It's like, well, now you can't literally use your powers because you have to be able to breathe to do it.
Yeah. Not necessarily an anime, but I think if I had to list some examples, I think and I whenever I'm comparing shows, this show is always in the back of my mind. Avatar: The Last Airbender, I always think back to that show. Right? They had people who like thought they had multiple people who stopped bending. They had the chi blockers, right? They had the what you call it? It was the chi blockers, then it was like the blood bending with like Korra and whatnot. And I was on the tip of my tongue. I forgot the other show, but there are a couple of shows that they'll stop the main power system, and I think that creates an interesting dynamic for the
All
It's
right.
it's an interesting way to make characters who aren't like as overpowered as like a demon or like a Tanjiro, right? You have somebody who can stop their main power system, and then you have people who like just go against that natural flow, like in Demon Slayer, Genya, who just he eats demons, and that's how he gets his power because he said he can't use any breathing styles, which is wild to me. I would like there to be a reason for that.
Hey, honey, I hope you didn't hear that. Um, I'm actually just now watching Avatar with my girlfriend
Oh, no
and her.
way.
Yeah, we're early. We're on like episode like 7 or something of the first season. So you
You,
said something, a type of bending, which I don't even think she probably heard, but I don't want her to know about that because that's
I
like
don't.
you
Okay.
know what I'm talking about.
The-
Yeah, but because yeah, but no, I actually not only do I really like Avatar in general. I
uh-huh.
never watched it, by the way, when I was like a kid or anything, like when it was on Nickelodeon.
What?
Yeah, bro, I didn't watch it until same thing with Naruto. I didn't watch Naruto or Avatar until quarantine happened, like when COVID first hit and we were all forced to go inside.
There are
I just, bro,
like
I was doing other things, man, at the time.
there are shows that I cannot fathom people not watching. Avatar is top of the list
I
because
will.
I think Avatar is probably the best show ever
I
made.
I well, that's like it's a very bold claim, but I will say,
You know what? You're right. One Piece is the best show ever made,
okay.
but Avatar is like a close second.
The thing I like about Avatar, but like I said, Naruto and Avatar just like quarantine happened, and I was like, well, I might as well, and I binged all of Naruto, and I also watched all of Avatar and all of, and Legend of Korra also slaps. Um,
I can't get through Legend of Korra.
you should maybe give it another shot. I definitely would say it is not Avatar. It is the Legend of Korra. Like
Yeah,
it's different.
it's its own thing. A lot of people have told me that.
But there are parts to it that are like just really cool, especially within like Avatar lore.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what are you trying to figure out what the commands do? By the way, honey, what's going on here? Before you trying to figure out what they do before you use them? Are you removing them? Are you changing them? What's happening here? Um, but so I'm watching Avatar with her and her kid, and
Mm-hmm.
because that is actually like a show that like I feel like it's suitable for children, and it also like dude Uncle Iroh. Hold on, let me ask you real quick.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite character in Avatar?
Favorite character? If you would have asked me maybe like 6 years ago, I probably would have said Uncle Iroh. But as I've watched it maybe like 5 times, it's definitely Zuko.
Yes,
Zuko
let's
and
go.
Banter.
That same with me, man. They're the best duo, but Zuko for
Yes.
sure. And you and I
Yes.
got the same thing. We got the Bakugo complex. I mean, they're like, yeah, uh huh,
Without without going too far in the depth, Zuko is definitely like
for sure.
ah, they're like my TikTok algorithm is like so spot on that every like 3 to 4 months they'll throw me like a Zuko or an Uncle Iroh edit, and I get so inspired and motivated to do more stuff. And I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
But
Uh,
it has it's a show that's got first of all one thing I really like about it is I don't know if you ever noticed this. I didn't even notice it until I watched a martial artist actually
yeah,
talk about
how
Avatar.
accurate it is.
Well, not only
Yeah,
accurate, but each of the bending styles uses like a different form of martial arts, which
yeah,
I just think's really cool that they even it considered to use that as a thing and then also animate it on top of it. Um, but also I feel like that show it's funny, it's goofy,
hmm,
it's heartbreaking at times, but it has so many good life lessons like along the way, and like I just feel like it is a show that you could just sit on the couch like with the family and watch
and
it.
watch. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's hard.
and
It's really hard to find shows like that nowadays. That like,
yeah, because like you said, it gives so many life lessons,
hmm.
and I feel like
It's
shows.
also really empowering. It has very powerful female characters, multiple. Some of like the best, in my opinion, as a man saying this mansplaining, but some of the best written female characters I've ever seen.
Yeah, definitely. I fell in love with Azula when I first laid eyes on her.
Yeah.
Not going too far into it, but Azula, she forever has my heart. Forever.
Oh boy, you're broken, brother. You're broken. I mean, that's fine. That's fine, but
You know what it was though? I don't want
the
to say too much.
lightning.
I don't want to say too much. I don't want to say too much. But Azula has my heart. I'm not broken. I just
You know, you're all right. You're all right. I'm just giving you a hard time.
no, you're good. You're good. Damn, I want to, I want to talk about it so badly, but I can't. I want to talk about it. So it's so
Let's
good.
go back to Demon
So
Slayer. We could talk about Avatar another time.
I don't even really think I thought you were gonna like challenge me at every which way and point, but you were kind of just like, yeah, this is, what you're saying makes sense, and I'm like, all right, well, we both
Well,
agree because we're both making logical points. We're not saying any outlandish things.
yeah, it's not like I hate Zenitsu, but and I will agree that even with the absence of them. So, for instance, like season 4 of My Hero
Mm-hmm.
hardly has All Might or Bakugo in it. My favorite two
Right.
characters.
Mm-hmm.
That really made me not enjoy it as much.
Is season 4 the one where they're fighting the guy and the girl, like the girl assistant?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I
season
just think
4.
that season was that was
Dude,
definitely
it yeah. It's just
Yeah.
it has moments, and I'm not gonna spoil it because I am also watching that with my girlfriend. But
Mm-hmm.
it has moments. It has a couple episodes like late in the season, but like it's not enough to like redeem all of the build up to get there. It felt like a lot of fluff. Like I felt like that
Yes.
season could have
Yes.
been 12 episodes and would have probably been better.
Way better.
Yeah. And I feel the
Maybe-
same way basically with the 5th season as well. It just there's so many characters that get introduced and like none of them are really that interesting and like they're not memorable and I don't care about them and I'm just like waiting like when do we get back to like the stuff I care about, which in my opinion is exactly where season 6 excels because it does actually like get back to stuff that you care about as a My Hero fan, not just like the new villain of the week that we know is just going to end up losing anyways because it's a shonen anime and you know the heroes are going to win.
They gotta win, yeah.
I mean, Deku literally tells you at the beginning of the show, this is the story of how I became the greatest hero. Yeah, like we already know they're gonna win, but yeah, season 4 and 5, nah. But please, you know what? Though I would love to do another conversation like this at any point, not even about anime, but also about anime, but especially after you finish season 6. I'd love to come back and have a chat about how you feel about season 6 of My Hero.
Oh yeah, most definitely. We could do that. Remind me which season. I can't say anything. Definitely once we finish that. Once we finish.
Oh, you can.
Remind me which season Lemillion is in.
Like, that's season 4. So I said,
okay.
Yeah, it's season 4.
If that's season 4, then I changed my mind. Season 4 is not the worst because
season 5 is the worst. Yeah, literally only because of Lemillion. That's why. That's what I said. There's like there's like 1 or 2 episodes towards the end of that season that like almost make up for everything else. But then season 5 is just like that's Redestro and like the villains. It's like the villains are like inner fighting and it's so stupid. It's so stupid and boring. And there's like
Rampage was telling me about that. He said that was rushed. That's why it didn't feel as good because that season was rushed. There was so much to cover, but they couldn't expand it out to like flesh each character out, so they had to rush a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it didn't feel as fulfilling. Because I said this to Rampage. We were talking about this, maybe it was earlier today or yesterday. We were talking about how like I kind of enjoyed the fact that they're taking time to flesh out the villains. And he, as someone who's read the manga, has talked about like how
they're not actually doing that.
They're not actually as fleshed out as they could be.
Yeah.
And me, I think a lot of people are starting to realize that like the villains are kind of almost always more interesting than our main characters. So like when you take time to flesh out the villains and really give them a solid backstory and a strong foundation to make your story even better, like you get such a great story, even at a 5-star restaurant. Like,
so how because there are literally only 2 anime where I couldn't wait and I read ahead in the manga, and it's Haikyuu and it's My Hero. So I want to know how much you know about My Hero before I say anything else.
I don't read manga at
Okay,
all,
so
and I know I should. The only
no,
manga I am
you don't.
reading is Berserk.
Oh hell yeah! Well, that's like yeah. Well,
Yeah.
if you're gonna choose only one, that's I mean,
Yes, exactly.
then I won't say anything more other than like yeah no the I because I have read ahead in the manga and yeah
Hmm.
the villains I would say definitely um don't get the proper it's unfortunate but it is I would agree with Rampage, they don't get the screen time required to like for them to have the impact that they should. You know what I mean? It's rushed. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
here. Also, now I'm getting my ass kicked, and it's like, well, I didn't even have time to like really get like the suspense or anything. It's just it was over. It was over as soon as it started. We're
Yeah.
like practically playing One Punch Man over here.
I that's just the problem with any
It's pacing,
traditional, like
yeah.
you read a book and then it's animated or put on the big screen. You know what I'm talking about? Like certain things don't get fleshed out as they should.
Yeah,
Sometimes they do it justice, but like 9 times out of 10, the book is always better. The book, manga, reading source, whatever it is.
I will say this: that I have never had that experience except for one time.
Really?
I've never read anything that was adapted into
Mm-hmm.
film
Mm-hmm.
prior to seeing the film until I heard about like the Hunger Games and then I
Mm.
like binge read the Hunger Games in like
Uh-huh.
2 weeks, and then I saw the first Hunger Games movie and I was like, holy shit, this was so much better in my imagination.
Yes.
And then I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not watching the next. I just rather reread the books and see it in my mind. So that like I feel bad for like I don't know like people that like were super into like Harry Potter and then maybe like were dissatisfied. Well, also that's a whole nother thing because of
Yeah, the
yeah
creator, she's a mess. But
yeah
I can say as someone who like read Harry Potter growing up and then watched the films are good.
yeah they are
The
good.
Harry Potter book is, obviously way better, but the films, it though again, that's like the exception. Like if you read the book and you watched the films and you were disappointed, I feel like you might not have an appreciation for film
Or
because they
maybe
kind of
had
did a
like
good job with the
expectations like
film.
too high.
Yeah, your expectations were like godly. You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about?
hold
Because
on, actually,
they did a great job.
there's one more thing. Okay, there's
Mhm.
one more book. Oh god, this is gonna make me. This is actually gonna. This is gonna. The reason that I forgot about it is because I've been trying to actively erase it from my memory. This is gonna make me fucking livid.
Please, I want you to say a book I've read. I really want you to, because I read a lot of books. I want you to say a book I've read. I'm
Okay,
hoping you say a book I've read.
let me tell you this. I am a huge, huge fantasy nerd. You
Yes,
couldn't tell.
same. Mhm.
I love the Lord of the Rings,
Yeah,
and
you're gonna say
that
Lord of the Rings. I knew it was coming.
that trilogy of movies is it's I still to this day don't think that there is like a better just from start to finish like 3 movie saga that I've ever seen. That being
Okay.
said, I
Mhm.
have never read The Lord of the Rings,
Mhm.
but I have read The Hobbit. It was actually it was on my summer reading list in between like sophomore and junior year of high school,
Yeah.
and I
Really?
yeah, that was one of we had that was our one yeah, and that would have been like nine. Why did I even go back to that century? No, it was that would have been like 2007 or 8.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, The Hobbit was one of the it was our summer reading book, and I remember I got into English class on my first day, and immediately our English teacher was like, "Okay, here's a 50-question quiz on The Hobbit."
Wow.
And I
What?
yeah, and I well, it was our summer reading book. So if you read
50
it,
questions is crazy.
yeah,
Like,
well, guess who was the only person in the whole school that got all 50 questions right?
congratulations.
Well, you know what? I didn't excel very well for the rest of the year, but I was interested in the Hobbit. So that being said, that was way before the Hobbit movie came out, which
Hmm.
wasn't even a movie. It was several movies that had characters. You know something that really sticks with me? Because, so for instance, I started watching the first Hobbit movie and I stopped watching it. I literally
Right.
stopped watching it, and because I was just like, this is. I had. Not only do I have so much love and appreciation for Tolkien and for what Peter Jackson did with the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, but I
Hmm.
also read the book. That's the only book that I've read of that from Tolkien. So when I was like seeing stuff that's like, I'm like, who the fuck is this character? They're not. They what? And then I was like reading, like I read some like interview or something. The Viggo Mortensen, the actor that played Aragorn, apparently they had asked him to come and reprise his role as Aragorn in The Hobbit, which he's not in. And thank God they had enough respect for the franchise and like Tolkien that they were like, no, Aragorn's not there. Why would I? Why, I don't care how much money you're gonna pay me. I'm not gonna come and do that. So I really respect them for that. They actually,
Yeah, yeah,
chose
yeah.
that over the money. But
You
yeah.
don't see that too often nowadays, unfortunately.
But sadly enough, the Hobbit is like the shortest like of all of Tolkien's like Lord of the Rings books by far. So the fact that didn't they make it in 3 movies? But
I
that's just Hollywood, dude. Why make one movie when you can make why make one good movie when you can make three really
three really
shitty
shitty
ones?
movies.
Like
Yeah,
for
yeah.
real. I don't know,
What's?
it's starting to
Go
catch
ahead.
up with Hollywood, man. They're
Oh
starting
yeah.
to flop at the box office with these
Oh,
recent
oh,
releases.
oh. What's funny is I recently had this argument with my father. Like we were talking because he was watching the Black Adam film, and
I have seen that. I have not seen many recent films, but I will say I have seen Black Adam.
what'd you think of Black Adam?
I think that The Rock did as good of a job as they could have done with that script, and that little skateboard kid and his mom and everything else was just so fucking what a fucking terrible plot. And just I
It was
think
bad.
I think it had moments that were cool, but
Yeah,
I
as all
think
superhero movies does.
yeah, but I think The Rock really sold that movie as hard as they could, and I would really actually be excited to see Henry Cavill reprise their role as Superman and come and have to deal with The Rock as Black Adam,
Yeah.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Bro, I grew up. I am a pacifist at this point, and
Mm-hmm.
like I don't like violence of any form. But like as a kid, well, the nice thing about wrestling is actually fake.
Fake,
Sorry,
super fake. Yeah.
sorry to spoil that for for anyone who doesn't know. But yeah, wrestling actually isn't real, guys. It's pre-scripted. Not to say that they don't put their heart into it and actually like suffer injuries and
Suffer
stuff.
injuries and
They
all that.
they
Yeah, no,
they
they
truly
they put a
do.
lot on the line for that.
But it's a at the end of the day, it's a performance. They are actors. And just they are very athletic, well trained physically, just willing to. I mean, they're. It's like you know how you in a movie you've got your actor and then you've got your stunt double. It's like they just one and the same.
It's just them. Yeah.
That's it's just me, baby. But dude, I fucking loved The Rock as a kid. Can you smell? Oh man, I remember seeing him come out and his oh
Mm-hmm.
man. I
Now, before
also
we
I also
go ahead.
remember the moment that my heart like it was like finding out Santa Claus isn't real. The moment I did realize like
When
it's not
wrestling was
real.
fake.
But like I can respect it now as an adult. I understand, but like at that moment
Mm-hmm.
that like for like a week I think I like I didn't want to like come out of my room. I was just like, it's not none of it's real. Nothing's real. Why do I care about any of this anymore? That
His face
championship belt
taking a
wasn't worth
stretcher.
anything. I respect. I really do respect the profession, though. I think it gets kind of clowned on because it's like muscle men and undies like wrestling each other, being sweaty in the
Yeah.
ring. But it's like, dude,
Yeah, yeah,
they're.
yeah.
I just feel like a lot of people don't know what goes into it.
Okay,
Anyways, yeah.
before we get too sad. Okay, like I said, I was having this argument with my father, right?
Yeah.
And he was explaining to me, and I don't want to use his example because it's definitely not appropriate
Okay, well,
for
fair enough.
Twitch.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
But he was explaining to me how if you're an owner of a business, right?
Mhm.
Right? You're in pharmaceuticals, right? To make his example PG, right? You're in pharmaceuticals, right?
Gotcha. I understand.
You could take your load, right? And you can curate it and you can sell it for double the price. Or, right, you don't even have to go through the process of curating it, right, making it as best as possible. You could just split it up into smaller little loads, and then instead of you selling the whole load for two times the profit, you can sell your smaller little loads for 1.5 times the profit, and that way you end up making more money than if you were to curate it and make it as best as possible, right? So take that example and switch it over to movies. Instead of them taking the time to really make a movie super good and like make it stand out and last the thing of time. I forget the word, but instead of making it last time, right, they just make as much profit as possible. And the reason I bring up the Black Adam movie is because that is exactly what they did with the Black Adam movie. Instead of them taking their time and actually making it a great movie, I watched 5 minutes of that movie, and I knew from the 5 minutes that I watched that it was a terrible movie because the editing was so goddamn
Yeah, dude.
awful.
Oh man.
I literally could not force myself to sit down and watch it. I was
I,
watching The Rock have a conversation with the lady. The lady walked up the steps. The next scene, they cut to The Rock. Then the next scene after, they cut back to the lady and she's back down the steps. That's the equivalent of me and you having this conversation, right? You leave your stream, I'm still talking to you, but you're not there, and then you come back and you continue the conversation when you weren't. I I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Did you see that?" And he was like, "Did I see what?" And I'm like, "You didn't." Oh, you know what? If you enjoy this movie, more power to you. But and that's exactly what they're doing with Hollywood right now. They're just throwing out whatever. They're throwing out whatever. But
it,
transitioning to an earlier
hold
conversation,
on, just
if you like,
real quick. I just want
okay,
to throw out there. I can't believe how much they've bastardized franchises like Star Wars and Indiana Jones, for instance.
mm-hmm,
Like cult
mm-hmm,
classics that have literally been around for decades, going on a half a century, and it's like
yep, yep.
I think someone said it the best where they were doing a review on Indiana Jones, the most recent one, and they just said like I don't know who this movie's for. Like who asked for this? Like what person is a big Indiana Jones fan that was like, you know what, we really need another movie to seal the deal. Eh,
They're just trying to make as much money as possible.
truly, man, truly.
There's no creative person anymore in Hollywood right now, and they're just like rehashing ideas. They did the same thing with SpongeBob. The creator of SpongeBob, RIP, they passed away, and they're like, "Listen, I don't want any remake of my series. Like, I don't want any nonsense coming out after SpongeBob. Like, when SpongeBob is over, like it's done." And then they made this remake of like when they were kids, and then they also made another remake of just Patrick's life, and it was like, you guys are completely shitting over his wishes, and you're just doing this for a cash grab. And it's like, please, man, just let the man rest in peace. Let the series die. Like,
Dude,
and this goes into a whole nother conversation of like,
it's been going on. That's exactly what I was talking about with The Hobbit. I
mm-hmm,
was like, they
mm-hmm,
paid so much respect to Tolkien with the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, and then they just shat all over it with The Hobbit
yes.
because at some point between then, which is crazy, because when the original Lord of the Rings movies were coming out, they were winning like every single fucking award at the time, like at every award showcase, and
Mhm.
rightfully so. And then it's like I can't even bring I won't watch any of the Hobbit movies. I As soon as I saw a character in that was like supposed to be a main character in the movie, that I was like, this person's not in the book. I was just like, okay, well, sorry, Evangeline Lilly, like you're a great actress, but like I really enjoyed you in Lost, but hey, can you please get lost because you shouldn't even be here? Like,
Oh god.
And that's why, like I said, I have so much respect for Viggo Mortensen because they offered him to reprise their role, and they were like, no. Whereas like Orlando Bloom, for instance, got his face CGI'd to make themselves look younger, which looked terrible. But also, they weren't there at those parts. Legolas is in The Hobbit, but not as much as they wanted or Legolas, Orlando Bloom, whatever to be. Just
Yeah.
yeah. All right, man. My bad. My bad. I'm done
No,
talking
no, no.
about the
You're all
Lord of the
good.
Rings. But hold on, real quick.
Yeah.
When you're talking about the editing for Black Adam, I swear sometimes it feels like Hollywood puts so much money and production into like filming, and then like someone like hands it off to their nephew who's like in college, and they're like, "Hey, edit this for us. You got this, right?"
Yeah.
And
No,
then
that is exactly how it feels.
I'm like, "Yeah, I got this. I'll do it on my MacBook Pro, Uncle. I'll send it to you tomorrow. I'll be done tonight." and it's
He's got like 6 hours worth of footage. He's like, yeah, I'll be done tonight. I got you. I'm editing on iMovie right now. Here, take this. Like,
uh,
oh
it just sucks
god.
because it's like the money is there. They're like
Yes.
they have the
Yes.
equipment, they have the actors. They
Yes.
have the
They have the
timing, they
budget.
have the scheduling, all this stuff, and it's just like they just keep fucking it up, man. And it's not just Hollywood either. Sorry to. I hope you're okay with us kind of pinballing
Yeah, we can
around,
branch. We can branch. Yeah.
but it's getting there with gaming too, man. I mean,
Yes.
you see it
Yes.
with these games that get released every year, and it's like they're getting worse and worse. We're getting more and more, dude. Like I think Halo, also Hollywood, that got involved with the video game. I think Halo is a perfect example of like how do you fuck up a franchise that bad? Like for real. Like you had a golden goose. Like you had it all. Like how did you fuck it up so bad to the point where like me who grow up playing Halo
hmm
just I don't even want to associate with the franchise anymore. Like
Yeah.
it's
No, I get like me and my friends. We all grew up playing, the generic 2K, Madden, Call of Duty. Like that was our games. Those were our games,
yeah,
right? And then as I grew up, when I was like 12 to 16, I was like, damn, I'm really buying the same game every year.
dude. I
Like
had that.
graphics are barely any better. The mechanics are exactly the same. I'm doing the exact same thing, and I'm spending $60, and now it's 70
Mhm.
on the same exact game. And now games have gone into the infinite money glitch
Well,
where they're battle passing you
yeah,
with
I was
more
gonna say
money,
it's
and
it's
I'm like, it's
$70 initially, but then there's all the microtransactions and the
yes,
cosmetics and the season
hmm
pass and the battle pass, and then, dude, I don't even want to like. I hate admitting this. Fortnite is the game I have by far spent the most money on in my life, and that is
How much money do you
absolutely.
think you spent on that game? How much money?
I don't want to admit how much money I've
He
spent
said
on
a
that. I
ton of
really,
money.
I don't want to admit it, but I could have purchased at least 3 or 4 games for the price of a free to play game. They get you, bro. They threw the anime skins in there, and I was like, and then they do the couple skins. Oh, they got the
Yeah,
Sasuke and Sakura. Oh, well, they've got the
yeah,
Deku and they've got Ochako. Well, it's like, well, fuck, great if I play with my partner because of course I want us to match. Ah, they get you, bro. They get you.
yeah. No, I get you. Fortunately enough, I've never spent. I have had the willpower to not spend money, extra money on like a free to play game or anything like that. Genshin is about to break me right now though, because there are a couple characters that have like cosmetics, and I am a slave to that game. I will admit
Bro,
it. I am
that's
once I hop
fine.
back on that game again, because I've taken a break to like make content, do like Street Fighter stuff. But like once I hop back on that game, it's gonna be a wrap. It's gonna be a wrap.
Real
My
quick,
wallet's gonna hurt. I already know.
how is Street Fighter treating you? I
Street
only
Fighter
hear the
is
best things about it, man. I have literally not heard a single bad thing about that game.
John. Let me tell you a stat.
What
Right
what rank
now,
are you? Yeah. Let me know. Let me know.
I'm still platinum. I'm still platinum with
Ooh,
Marissa, gold with Chun Li. I'm
platinum.
plat 3 with Marissa, so I'm like middle of the pack in platinum. And I just touched gold with Chun Li. I haven't played Chun Li in a couple weeks, but let me tell you the stat. Right,
Huh?
out of all the fighting games that are maybe not today because DNF got an update. I know a lot of people like DNF, but like it's a bad game. It got an update, like completely shifted it, so they tried to play it again. But as of like 2 days ago, when I read this stat, Street Fighter has more concurrent players than all the fighting games out right
combined.
now put together. Yes.
That's wild. And I believe it because like
Mm-hmm.
I see. Trust me, bro. I'm not a fighting game player.
Right.
I'm a Smash player, and they're
Mm-hmm.
not as much as there is a cross between. There's also you know they're not. Smash is a platform fighter. It's
Yeah,
not.
exactly.
It's not a traditional fighting game like Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the list goes on. And I've only ever really known Smash as like my entrance. Like Smash was and is my entrance into the FGC, and because of Smash, I can now appreciate. Like I don't know how to play Tekken or Mortal Kombat, but I can go back and watch clips of the Daigo, counter, like
Yes.
parry parry.
Yes.
I know
Yes.
about that. Like so like and I can appreciate like seeing people execute things that are really really fucking cool that like I could never do. That's the same reason why I watched Melee. Like I played Ultimate, I've played every Smash game, but I didn't get competitive until Smash 4, which carried it over into
Mm-hmm.
Ultimate, and then I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I really prefer to watch Melee because I think they're doing a lot sicker shit, even though I don't play the game. And you know what? Actually, once I really got into watching competitive Melee, because I've never been into sports and I've never been able to understand how people can like care so much about athletes like stats and stuff. And then I was like talking about like everything I know about like Mango versus Zane and like all
Yeah.
their grand final sets, and
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, holy shit, I've become a sports fan. I was like, now I get it. It's just that's what's interesting to like we're the same breed. It's just they care about football and people getting concussions, and I'm like, well, no one's getting hurt over here except their pride when they get three stocked. Like
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
but
Yeah. And
it kind of clicked for me where I was like, I understand sports fans now. Like I understand like how they can get so like enraptured in something that like they literally have nothing to do with. Like, don't even play the game. I don't play Melee. I play Smash. I enjoy it. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like the same. It's the
yeah.
same thing as like
Yeah. Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
being like, "Yeah, I've kicked a soccer ball once. I'm a huge football fan now." Like, yeah, I love watching the World Cup.
You learn to have that appreciation for the sport.
Yeah.
Like and I'm sure you can probably relate. I've never played volleyball seriously. I've played around in like gym or maybe like um recently I just went on a trip to Costa Rica. They had like beach volleyball. I
Mm-hmm.
watched a little bit of the beach volleyball. But it wasn't until Haikyuu, until I watched Haikyuu, where I was really like, wow, volleyball might be my favorite. And I've again never played. I've played football. I've played basketball. I've played soccer. I ran track. Like I was an athlete growing up. When I watch volleyball, it incites something in me that I don't get out of any of these other sports.
Mm-hmm.
So I could totally relate how like you haven't played Melee, but when you watch it, like it's more interesting than like all the other smashes. Like I totally get that.
Bro, volleyball is a sport where you're always looking up, and also you're not just one person. You're a team of six. Ah, dude, I fucking love. The thing is
Okay.
too, when I watched Haikyuu, like, it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dude, this is. And man, bro, I see Neko posting on Twitter, being like, "I just want to win a turn," and I'm like, "Don't give up. You got this, man. You got like I believe in you." Like, because that's how I felt when I watched Haikyuu. Like, I was able to relate. Like, it wasn't even that, and I think that show actually is. That's one of the reasons I think that show is so beloved.
Yeah.
Is I think a lot of people can just relate to it
Yes.
regardless if they're into volleyball or sports in general. There's just, and there's also a lot of different like I've watched all of that with my partner and I can't wait for the next season. But like even like
I think it's just a movie, right? I think they're coming out with like a
Oh,
movie or something.
I thought I've heard that it was gonna be a movie. I've heard it was gonna be two seasons.
I think it's a two-part movie, and I
I
think that's how they're ending it.
well,
Unfortunately.
that might be okay. Because like I said, that is the other manga other than My Hero that I have actually read ahead, and I already know
Hmm.
what's gonna happen and stuff, which is kind of crazy to see where things go. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but like where things go, but
I'm not.
not what I was expecting for sure. And I'm not talking about win or lose on anything. I'm just talking about like just in general.
Hmm.
Did not go how I was expecting it. Not in a bad way. Just not what I was expecting.
Okay.
Um
I I know not enough about you, so I can't make a crazy speculation off of what you're saying right now. So I'm just leave it at that.
yeah. Uh, uh yeah, hmm. Yo, also, hi Des. Congratulations on getting third. Sound alerts are broken for me right now. They do not work, but hey, I see you. I see you there. Appreciate you. How you going, Des? We're just over here having some anime banter. Also, I know
Mhm.
you posted this forever ago, Des, but I just saw it earlier today because one of my coworkers actually also cosplays, and I was like, "Yeah, let me show you my cosplay Discord." And then I was like, "Oh, Des, with the big tall vampire lady from Resident Evil, you know the one, Lady
Oh,
I can't say their name.
yeah.
I can't say it. Lady Demetris. I can't say it.
Yeah,
Demetrescu,
I can't say that name either.
Demetric, uh, uh, Lady Lady Demetrescu. I
Speaking of speaking of cosplay, I want to get into cosplay really badly.
bro, I'm gonna my next cosplay if I ever do one. Just gonna be Torfin from Peakland Saga. I don't have to do anything.
What's crazy is I haven't seen that yet. I've seen like the first 3 episodes of the first season, and I haven't watched it since. But everyone says that
Yeah,
what's
trust
funny
me.
is everyone said the second season was so bad, and then like 3, 4 episodes in, they were like, "This is the best show ever."
Yeah. Well, I just feel like a lot of anime fans are just like they're just waiting.
Waiting to hate on it, or
No, they're well, they just they need that. It's all right, man. God, this is what I was trying to say a while back. That like the shows that stick with me are the more unique ones, and
yeah.
sometimes they don't even really stick with me immediately after I finish them. But like a while after I finished it, like I'll find myself reflecting back and it's like, and then I might go and rewatch it. One show, for instance, that I'm watching right now, and it's for sure not for everyone, and I'm
Hmm.
rewatching it. I've already seen it.
Hmm.
I'm rewatching a lot of things with my partner, which has been an
That's good.
absolute joy. But March comes in like a lion.
Oh my, that's such a
You've seen it?
that's such a good show.
It's
That's
so
such a good show.
it's very different from like your typical like
Yes.
it's not your Death Note, it's not your fight your Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, it's not Jujutsu Kaisen. Those are all
Hmm.
great shows too, but it's it's for sure like it's shows like that
Hmm.
that really stick with me. And by the way,
I think
I did watch the dub of that, and it's phenomenal.
I think you're the other shows that you listed were a majority shonen. March comes in like a lion is a sign in, and sign in shows tend to have that effect because shonen shows are made for like younger kids, right? Like I want to say like 14 and under.
Also,
Seinen
Haikai.
shows are made for
I
like young adults,
I've
so they
actually
have that lasting effect.
I've seen sign in used as a tag and like
Hmm.
descriptions, but I've never actually like heard anyone say it or like been explained like what it is. Like obviously I know what shonen
Hmm.
is. It's like your weekly battle anime. Here's the new villain. You know, blah blah blah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Your Bleaches, your Naruto's, your One Pieces.
Yep, yep.
But so like March comes in like okay, let me think of another one.
March comes in like a lion is a sign in. If you've seen Berserk, Berserk is a sign in.
I haven't, but I'm a
I
little bit.
I think I think Vinland Saga is a sign-in as well. I
I
could be
would
wrong.
I would say maybe season 2. Season 1 is for sure like very much I would it's like a
No, Vinland Saga is a sign-in.
Flynn
And that's it.
Saga.
Like they're not mutually exclusive. Like you can't have one without the other. Like they kind of both fit into the role. You know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to think of another one
So
that's like
I was
kind of
gonna think,
well known. I just
have you seen those Snow White notes?
no, I don't think I have.
So if
Is it recent or is it?
it came out, I think maybe 2020, 2021, maybe. It's I
Mm,
can't think I don't know, I can't think of the instrument. It's
mm,
the Japanese instrument. It's similar to a guitar, but it's only got 3 strings. Um it's called Those Snow White Notes. That show also sticks with me. Also because I am a musician, so well, I play guitar. I'm a self-taught guitarist. But that
nice.
because the main character of that show, like it's about them playing their instrument.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like that one a lot. It sticks with me. Um,
Oh, I want to say Fooly Cooley is a sign-in, but I could be wrong.
Holy Cooley, Holy Cooley is you can watch. It's a movie. It's 6 and I love it. It's literally
It is. It is.
you do realize. I don't know if you're watching my stream, but my background is from Fooly Cooley. No cap.
Is it the? Let me tap into the stream again.
It's been this way since I set my stream up like 2 days ago.
Okay.
I
How was that process, by the way?
so okay.
Oh, the
Um,
cigarette. Yeah, I see it.
I love Fool. Gurren Lagann's my favorite anime.
Oh yeah. Fooly Cooley, Neon Genesis. I'm pretty sure is a sign-in. I think Cowboy Bebop also a sign-in.
Yeah, I could see Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop, very also similar with Shampoo.
Mm-hmm.
Is also though one of those. I like anime that can be episodic, where it's like you can watch any episode. Doesn't really like sometimes they maybe have like 1 or 2 episodes that are like a two-part or they carry over. But for
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
part, for like Shampoo or Cowboy Bebop, you can almost watch any episode and it doesn't really matter where you're at. It just kind of all kind of flows together.
What's funny about that is when I was watching Cowboy Bebop, I usually binge all the anime I watch. Like even if it's like 25 episodes, like I might watch that in one sitting. Like I did that with Attack on Titan. Like when the first season came out, I watched the entirety of it. Like best 12 hours I've spent. Um but
Bro,
like
I remember watching that in 2013 and then having
yes.
to wait like 4 fucking years for the
Yes.
second season.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
I was literally I was in high school at that point and I was telling my friend I was like, you gotta fucking watch. Like you have to watch this. Please. Why none of them watched it. None of them watched it for like 4 or 5 years. And then like it was like 2, 3 years. Then like One Punch Man came out, My Hero came out. I was like, if
Yeah,
none
so
of
many
you
things. Yeah.
watched any of these fucking anime, like none of you are my friends. And then someone finally watched it, and I was like, thank you, please.
You know what's
It'll be a bit
funny?
of manipulation, but
One of my friends, my friend Kara, um, her ex was really wanted to get her to watch it, and
mhm.
she didn't want to. And then after they separated, thank God they did. But after they separated, she really didn't want to watch it because he had always been encouraging her to watch it, and she just like
Mhm.
associated it with him, which I totally understand. But I just kept kind of pleading with her and being like, Kara, like I understand, but like you please give it a chance. She did, watched all of it, and she was like, "Oh my god, it's so fucking good." And I was like, "Yes, I know." That's one of the few. Attack on Titan is one of the few shows that I think is deserving of the hype and like praise it gets, and like how mainstream and like trending it is at times. Because like I said this earlier too when I was talking about we're going full circle now, which is
Full
fine.
circle now, yeah.
Yeah, but when I was talking about like characters that that showcase cowardice, especially like in a really like humanitarian, like realistic way.
Hmm.
Armin is. I love Armin. I think
I love
Armin is
Armin.
such a good character.
Yes.
Armin Arlert. I will never forget. Fucking what's his name? Armin Arlert. Really? That's what they named you or whatever. Just when it, just them back in the dude, Attack on Titan is such a journey, dude. Oh man, just
Yes, yes.
when you think about the early seasons and then you think about now, it's just like holy fucking hell. I know how we got here, but like, how the
Mhm.
fuck did we get here? like,
Yes, yeah,
like,
that is yeah.
uh,
That is a perfect way to describe it. That is the
so good.
perfect way to describe it.
Also, just real quick, Kai, what do you mean, girl be gone? I'm assuming you're asking, is that a movie? Is
That might be an anime, and
that
she
might
might
be
be
an anime?
talking about, or they might be talking about,
If you're talking about
sign-ins.
my back, oh, okay, you're talking about a sign in. If you're talking about the background and the backdrop, now this is from Fully Cooley. Uh, I said this briefly, but I just wanted to touch back on it, and then I'm actually gonna
Mhm,
use the restroom real quick, and then I'll be right back. But Gurren Lagann is my favorite anime. It is not the best anime I've seen.
mhm.
I honestly am almost this may be a little early to say, especially because of how much of Attack on Titan there is, and that there's still more to be released, but also there's still more of Vinland to be released. But like, I would say at this point, um, my favorite anime is Gurren Lagann because it's
Yeah.
goofy and it's wacky, and because of Yoko and mechs, and this is the drill that's gonna pierce the heavens, and
Yeah, yeah,
let,
yeah, yeah.
let me see you grit those teeth, and don't believe in believe in the me that believes in you.
Yes, yes.
There's
Okay,
so much about it.
I'm glad you said that because I was rewatching it again and they changed that lineup and I'm like something is not feeling right. Like with the website I was watching, it was like
Hmm.
don't believe in don't not believe in yourself or some nonsense. And I'm like that's not what he says. He says don't believe in you, believe in the me that believes
Yeah,
in you.
believe in the communa that believes in you, Simone,
Yes.
little brother.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then they're just kind of dumbfounded, and then just puts the little. Yeah, bro, I love Gurren
It's such a
Lagann.
great show.
It,
It's
it
such a great show.
it's not the best anime, like
I,
objectively. Like if I were to
uh-huh.
rank like all the things like on a stat like meter, like it's definitely like I know it's not the best. Um,
I think you can make a case that Gurren Lagann is one of the
well,
better,
it's
like top
definitely
three mech animes for
it's
sure.
definitely phenomenal, and it is my
Yeah,
favorite show. But when I like think like if I were to if I were to like score stuff, if I were to be like a teacher, like actually like okay, submit your anime and let me like score. Like this is your final year review. Submit your best anime, dude. Like Attack on Titan for sure up there.
yeah.
Uh, this may be a little wild because I know so many people don't like the way it ended, but it also is like was so influential to me in terms of getting into anime. This is also probably a bit like nostalgia,
Go
but
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead and say the show I'm thinking about, please.
Death Note.
No, that's not what I was thinking about.
Okay,
But Death Note
well,
is definitely up there.
Death Note. Vinland Saga, like I'm putting that up there. Like it just,
Mm-hmm.
I really think that that show has the potential to, like I think like if Attack on Titan's here, I think with this next season, I could see it approaching. Also, Full Metal Alchemist. I feel like that's just a cop out. Like, of course, FMA Brotherhood's great.
No, Brotherhood is great. And what's crazy is when I watched it the first time, I kind of just thought it was mid. But I like started rewatching it and I was like, all right, I can see why like people like really like this is really good. The pacing, story,
I,
everything is just really good.
I like when anime, and I think this is a manga, for instance. Reading it actually, but
Mm-hmm.
Zerk, I really like when they can touch on like dark and not
Yes.
the like most like typical subjects, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
but they
Mm-hmm.
don't do it, and like in Berserk maybe does do it in this way sometimes, but that's just because that the animation of mangaka is like legendary. But
Mm-hmm.
when it's not about being like over gratuitous, or it's like I like when they can touch on the subject matter with story elements, and it's not just like for instance like Tokyo Ghoul, or just as an example of like oh wow like look at all like this bloodshed, and like oh there's corpses everywhere, and like this guy's getting like tortured, and like the animation is terrifying to watch. Whereas like you could just have the storytelling be what encapsulates you and like actually is what's terrifying. And I feel like
Yeah.
Berserk does a good job of that. There's a reason it's like critically acclaimed as like the best manga of all time. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Okay,
Uh,
before you go to the bathroom, top
top
five anime.
top five anime off rip.
Not even teacher grading, but like
Okay, Gurren
your
Lagann,
top five, your favorite.
Gurren
Mm-hmm.
Lagann,
Mm-hmm.
One Punch Man season one.
Not season two, not all of One Punch Man, just the first season.
I I mean I appreciate season two. Garo's
I enjoyed
theme
season two.
is so badass. I love metal and I love double bass pedals, and
Yeah,
I
he's a
love
sick character
Garo.
too.
He is because
Mm-hmm.
he's a anti villain. Like he's a or an
Yes,
anti like he anti
anti-hero.
hero
Mm-hmm.
anti hero. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love Garo, and I also love how badass they are. But then they like meet up with Saitama and just get slapped on. Like it's just like I love that. I also love that Saitama, like as powerful as they are, cannot fucking kill a mosquito. And also their little elephant like flower uh watering thing, like and
Mm-hmm.
also like dude also Moomin Rider, like there are and Pretty Pretty Princess, Pretty Pretty Prince, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah,
Dude,
yeah, yeah.
there's so much that's good about One Punch. I think it's such a good like introductory show to someone that is like, hey, if you've never watched anime, check this out. And it's like if you don't like the first episode of One Punch Man, anime maybe might not be for you. Then again, there are other
There's
shows
plenty of
like
genres,
March
plenty
Comes
of
in Like a
genres.
Lion, which
Yes.
like might be for you. So I'd say One Punch Man,
Mm-hmm.
Gurren Lagann, and this is in no particular order.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and at this point, yes, include every season. So One Punch Man,
Mm-hmm.
all uh, Gurren Lagann,
Mm-hmm.
Death Note,
Okay.
Steins Gate.
Oh yes, I'm glad somebody said it. Yeah, such a good. Yes.
Bro, I might have to say Haikyuu
Okay, valid.
for five.
I
It's
think Haikyuu is the best sports anime, to be honest.
I'm trying to think if they're Darker Than Black maybe gets an honorable mention because that
Mm-hmm.
like for me that is the anime that I first watched where I was like, oh shit, this isn't just like titties. I thought anime like honestly before I really got into it, I really thought it was just like all hentai, like all just etchy, all just
A
like
lot of people think that. A
high school.
lot of people think that.
What is it? Prison high school or high school DxD or
Prison
whatever.
School.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
That show's fucking
Well, which it
hilarious.
is, and it like there like I understand that etchy is its own genre, and like that's
Yeah.
fine. You know, there are shows like Kaijo out there, which I remember when Kaijo originally got introduced, and I was like, oh, it's an anime about girls wrestling with their asses. And then I got like halfway through the first episode, and I was like, I respect anime too much to continue this, so I will drop it. Uh, Respectfully so. Animation
Mhm.
was quality, but
Right.
oh shit, I didn't. No. I didn't.
Mhm.
Dude, Attack on Titan. Like Attack on Titan has to be in there. It's Attack on Titan,
Okay.
Steins Gate, Gurren Lagann,
Uh-huh.
Stein, Steins Gate, Attack on Titan, Gurren Lagann,
Uh-huh.
Death Note,
Yeah.
and I'd say just One Punch Man because I think it's like I said, like it's One Punch Man. Even just the first episode of that show, I feel like just gives you so much of like this is anime. It's like being like forced at you. It's like okay, so like even the OP, like you know, it's so good
Yeah. The opening's pretty good. Okay. I'll give you my top five. Then I'm gonna say one more thing and I'll let you go to the bathroom.
for sure, for sure.
Um One Piece, number one. I used to hate the people who said like you gotta watch One Piece. One Piece. The
I
Now that I've watched One Piece, I now know what the I've been enlightened. God has opened my eyes. One Piece
your
is
third eye is open now.
yes,
Understand?
yes. One like And if there's one thing I throughout our entire conversation, even though we didn't even talk about it, if there's one thing I leave you with, it's I want you to watch One Piece. I if I leave anybody with any impression, I want them to watch One Piece. I don't give a fuck about anything else we talked about. If you could watch One Piece,
I'm
the world would
gonna
be a better place.
before you tell me your next four,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to break your heart. uh, the animation for the not the animation but like the art style, like I've tried to get into One Piece, and I'll try again too, because for instance, you who didn't watch really JoJo, um I had to restart the first season of JoJo like 4 or 5 times before I could make it through it, and then I watched all of it. So like I may have to give it another shot, but my like when I just look at One Piece, I
Mm-hmm.
don't really enjoy the art style, but I have only heard the highest praise for the storytelling and the arcs,
The
and
world building
and the
is
yes,
out of this fuck. Like there's nothing even comes
and it's like it's
close.
colossal in its scale. It's like it's what, the second longest running mangaka,
When
longest.
I'm pretty sure it might be the longest. I don't know, but when I say that there are over 1,000 episodes of One Piece, I am damn near caught up, and there are not enough episodes of One Piece. I mean it with my entire being. There are not enough episodes because we have only scraped the surface of this world, and in the next 5 years, One Piece is over. We've only scraped the surface.
Bro, you know what? That just makes me like feel bad that Hunter x Hunter like didn't get its justice. That's like immediately I'm just like sad Hunter x Hunter fan tears. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, is it Hunter X Hunter? What should I pronounce? I know it's Hunter.
I was gonna say most people like Attack on Titan. I'll read your chat. So a few episodes of JoJo. Oh yeah, okay, you're reading that. Okay, back to list. One Piece, number one, right? Um,
Respectable. I've only heard the highest praise for it. It's just for me initially. I'm like, Luffy looks goofy, but I'm sure if I could get past that, I'd enjoy.
and, and what's great is like that's the point. Like the creator of One Piece said he wanted Luffy to be a goofy, like he wanted this to be the most non-serious character to do like the most crazy, courageous, inspiring things to
I
it's
will
such a good
say
show.
I've seen stills from the manga of because he usually does just look like a goofball, and then I've seen
Yes.
stills of him where they look like legitimately fucking furious, and I'm like,
Yes.
that like you said earlier, Zenitsu, that stark contrast, and yeah, it can really.
Yes. It's so good. It's so good. Okay.
All right, so One Piece.
S- Second, and my favorite rom com, and I love rom coms. Is my favorite rom com, and I'm glad that they're airing more episodes of it because it was that good. Horimiya. Horimiya has to be, in my opinion, the best rom com probably to date in the way that it handles modern kinks, sexuality, unspoken words, body language, and deciphering all things encompassing like anxiety.
When did it
It
come out?
just I want to say like 2000 2021,
Okay, so
maybe
it's a more recent one.
it's very and it's really, and they're coming out with a new season. Now unfortunately, I will say this, the show finished with the manga, right? So the manga ended, and the show finished with it. So this new season is just all the stuff that like it skipped over. That's how good the show was. That they had like they made another season and they're going back animating other stuff that they skipped. It's really, really, really good. Like favorite rom com by far.
So just before you go further, I gotta ask then, just to
Hmm.
get like a reference. Have you seen Snafu?
No.
That might Aregaru. Aregaru is what it's called in Japanese. I think it's called Snafu like in English, but I think it's called Aregaru in Japanese.
It says my youth romantic comedy is wrong.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
I
I'm assuming you haven't seen that one. Have you seen
no,
Kaguya-sama?
yes, I have seen Kaguya-sama.
Okay, and you think Horimiya is better than that?
Horimiya is definitely better than that as a romantic comedy. I think as um I think Kaguya-sama is funnier than Horimiya though.
I mean,
So I think as a
it's
comedy,
got
it's
Chica.
better.
I mean, you can't go wrong.
Say that again.
I said it's got Chica in it. Like you can't go wrong with that.
The Chica dance is
Uh,
unbeatable.
that is so
You
beautiful.
are spitting right now. Madonna. This has been on my list to watch for a while, and I've it's one of those shows that like because both of the main characters have like black hair, I've kind of brushed it off as like unappealing and kind of skipped past it because usually in anime, like if your character has brown or black hair, they're basic. So I've just kind
Yeah,
of like,
they gotta have
eh,
pink or blue or green or something,
something loud to draw an attention.
or at least like really spiky hair, like something. Yeah, something that says
Yeah,
I'm the
yeah,
main
yeah,
character. Pay attention to me.
yeah. Honorable mentions though for rom com is Life as a Weeb or like Dating as a Weeb is Hard or something like that. I think it's the name. Dating
Haven't
as
haven't
a
seen.
Weeb is Hard. Anime, I think.
I think I've heard about it. Well, I know I
Love
haven't seen.
Love is Hard for an Otaku. That's the name of it. They this show honorable mention for rom coms. Really good. Has my favorite relationships and their side character. The female has green hair. The guy has orange hair. They have my favorite relationship dynamic in all of rom com. Like out of anybody, I love their relationship more than anything. Definitely watch it if you have the time.
Oh,
But
I will. I'm gonna for sure put it on a list. I just already am like,
the list is like 50,000
not
words
even.
long. I know. I
My
know.
partner and I are already like in the midst of watching like 7 or 8 different shows.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's like a matter of like whittling down the list and then get to that point. But for sure, I'll put it on. It's hard.
Um,
Love. Would you said love is hard for an otaku?
Love is hard for otaku. Yes.
Okay. All right. So we got the honorable mention of the rom com. Another one, or is that it?
Mhm. Three, my number three, ReZero.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when I was like initially getting my partner, like when we were like, okay, man, I feel bad saying this out loud, but I feel like a lot of people can also relate and understand.
Hmm.
So when we were first like starting to date and like finding stuff to watch together,
Yeah.
obviously like I'm a huge weeb, I'm a huge anime fan. Um, but also we're 14 hours apart. Now it's not as difficult because we've found a way to like manage time together. But back then,
Hmm.
time wasn't as consistent. Um, so there'd be the times where like we were apart, and she'd be like, "Hey, I want some anime recommendations," and then I'm like, "Oh, I'd love to recommend literally my whole like a plethora of anime to you." But then the second I went to say like, "Oh yeah, you should watch Attack on," and then I'd be like, "But I'd really want to experience that with her." Like, "Oh, you should watch this," but like, god damn, I really want to like see like I can't even see. That'd be so much better. But I'd like to like be able to experience her reaction, to certain things that I am already aware of and like see, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there's
No,
like
I totally know what you mean.
there were so many. She was like, "Yeah, recommend me a show," and I was like going through my list, and I was like, "Damn, like there's not really a thing I want to miss out on watching with her."
Hmm.
One of the few that I went ahead and I bit my tongue, and I was like, you know what? Let me test the waters because ReZero is ReZero. So I was like, you know what? If you want an anime to watch on your own, why don't you check out ReZero? And like before I knew it, she had already finished both seasons and she loved it, and I was like,
Yes.
fuck
Yes.
yes. Yeah,
Yes.
ReZero is so good.
So good.
Dude, Subaru, one of the best isekai pro tags,
Yes. Hands down.
hands down.
Hands
Also,
down.
um, every other character the I can't remember her name. Is it Beatrice, the girl in the library?
Yes,
Uh,
Beatrice. Yeah. Hmm.
Fucking Roswald. Oh my god, I have never
Yeah.
hated someone and also rooted for
Yes.
them so
Yes.
hard. Like,
Yes.
it's it. Yeah, ReZero is so good.
So good. It's so and
It's such
we
a good
we
isekai. And also,
we Mhm.
we all know who Best Girl is.
No, because you strike me as the type to say Amelia.
Let me tell you something. You know what year this anime came out?
What year did this come out? Was it like 2018 or something?
It was either 2017 or 2018.
Yeah, somewhere around that time.
It's the same year my daughter was born, and as this show was airing, and my her mom couldn't decide on a middle name, and we kept kicking middle names around and around and around. Eventually, I was like, "How about Amelia?" And she was like, "Oh, I really actually like that." So, hold on, you didn't let me finish.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So when my daughter gets older, because obviously, I mean, she's only 5 right now. I'm not gonna be showing her ReZero now. But when she gets a little bit older and she starts to watch it, and then she's like, I'm hoping she'll be like, oh, her name is Amelia. And I'll be like, yeah, Jules, why don't you look up what year this anime came out? And then she'll be like, oh my god, dad. And I'll be like, shh, don't tell your mom. Uh, but no, we all know who the best girl is. And it's not Amelia.
Oh,
We
thank you,
all know who the best
Lord.
girl is.
Rem,
It's
please.
Rem. It is
Yes.
100%. I feel. Oh, it's
Yes.
100% Rem. I like Amelia. She got so much better in season 2, especially. Like way better because in season 1 she was honestly kind of,
Who the fuck was Amelia in season one? She was forgettable.
bro. She was. I don't know, man. Andrew like laid his head on her lap that one time.
Right, and that was
uh,
it. And that was
I said Tanjiro Subaru. I'm getting all my stuff mixed. Wires crossed. But no, yeah, Rem is 100% best girl, 100%, no questions asked.
the
But I
fact
do
that
love the
I
name
would
Amelia.
the fact that I would literally talk to my friends and be like, yeah, no, like Amelia's all right, but like Rem, like, and they were like, Rem who? Like, obviously the joke, Rem who? But like,
Yeah, okay. The end of season 1. Yeah, I get it.
but it's like after you hear that speech of
Yeah,
running away, starting a new life, like I don't, I fell in love with Rem so hard, like me, like and I joke about like liking these 2D girls and all that. Like it's all facade. I legit like was thinking about Rem's speech in like classes. Like, damn, am I ever gonna find something like that? Like damn. Oh,
you're about to make me tear up.
it was such. It was so good. Okay.
All right, so that
Um,
was 3.
that was three honorable mentions for Isekai. Is definitely the time I got reincarnated as a
Yes,
slime.
I was gonna say if you don't say slimy Sakai, because that one is so good. Rimaru-chan. Oh yeah, no, slimy Sakai. That one hits differently, but like I love it.
Yeah.
I'm not a bad slime. Flirt. Dude, you're
Also,
caught up on it.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
bro,
I haven't seen because they're coming out with new stuff as we speak, so I'm
okay.
not
Well, I'm
caught
not
up.
caught up on
But
any of that.
yes, I've seen everything. Also aside from the movie too, I haven't seen the movie.
Bro, I can't remember his name at the moment, but the damn dragon, dude,
The dragon that turns into a guy
yeah,
and he fucking uses the
yeah, he's
Kamehameha.
so good, so good, and he's using like street PD. Doesn't he do a Shoryuken?
Yes,
Like
yes.
it's so good, bro. I I really appreciate stuff that can be self aware for like the medium that it's in,
Yes,
and
yes.
like it can like pay homage and like literally the dragon is like, oh, you're gonna like give me more manga to read, right? Because like I've already finished reading all the manga that you gave me. And then they're like, Jesus Christ, I'm trying to like run a civilization and I'm trying to play Civ 5 over here. Jesus, would you leave me alone? Go read your manga in the corner, you dragon. God damn.
Oh
No,
god.
I love and also yo the most recent season, not the one that's like currently, but I
Hmm. Yeah.
oh bro.
Yeah,
I never expected the show to go that way either because it was just I'm a nice slime, and then it was like, oh shit.
he popped. He went off.
Ooh, and
That
I
that season.
understandably so too. I felt so much in their feels with them.
Yeah.
I
hmm
was just like, yep, uh-huh.
Everybody deserves this. That season has my favorite beatdown scene in all
Ooh.
of anime, where the orc is fighting the guy who can
Oh,
regenerate.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That like
Okay, have you seen? I think Rampage is the one that sent me this, but it's the Black Air Force energy videos.
he's probably sent me something like that as well, but
Bro, this guy does he pays homage specifically to that scene. Oh my god.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Like I'm watching it and like I'm a pretty physical guy. I don't fight, but like when I see like fighting in anime, I do wish that they would kind of like take it at just once in one of the like the harder core shows, they would like take it that step above. And that show gave me that. And it wasn't even like that graphic or anything, but it did the role perfectly. And I was like, oh yes,
Also,
this fulfilled it
it's so
perfectly.
nice to see someone who's like, because also the guy's just being racist to him.
Yeah,
Straight up, he's like, "You
yeah.
fucking orc," and he's like, "Oh, oh, let
He
you
said
know
it
about
again.
this orc. Oh, so you can regenerate, yeah." Like,
That was
bah, bah. Yeah, just oh man, with
I'll
the
never. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm watching that, and I'm literally in my chair, and I'm like flexed up, and I'm like, yes, yes.
I love also that he tells him he's like, "Oh, this is my name." Like, yeah. I also love just Rimuru, like the fact that
Yeah.
like they just go to these like different like races or species or
Mm-hmm.
villages or whatever, and they're like,
Mm-hmm.
nah, we can just like all get along, and then he like gives them. It's such a, it's so many isekai do the JRPG thing. Uh, I feel like this is one of the few that does it in such a delightful way, where it really does feel like an old school JRPG, where it's
Mm-hmm.
like you're just playing as Rimuru. Um, but then I would say also kind of like Black Clover, because I was not ever watching Black Clover expecting the story to hit me until I was like, oh my god, what a payoff. But this
Yeah.
show kind of reminds me of that. It's like it's not really serious, and then all of a sudden it's like, wow, the story just got really good, kind of
Really
out of
complicated.
nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's not to
It.
say like it wasn't bad or enjoyable before, but it kind of knows how to toe that like balance of like, okay, goofy exposition, world building, now exposition, like
Yeah, yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. That balance is perfect. It's never a point where it's too dark. It's never a point where it's too light. Like there's a mix between, and even in points where like you're heading towards darkness, it still finds a way to shine a light through. And even in points where it's like it's all goofing around and whatnot, there's still like that's when they like hit you with the story. Like, all right, like here's the story now. Like we can be goofy, but remember we still have a good story going on as well. Like they really have
yeah,
that really
they really do
balance.
have that balance for sure. Because like I said, like I think about things like Veldora, that's their name, the dragon Veldora.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they're like manifesting as a human and like reading manga like in the corner, and then also we don't. I want to get into the. I don't want to spoil too much, but man, that last season, good
Um,
stuff.
I'm pretty sure I've seen the last season. I just haven't seen the movie
No.
in
I'm talking. You know
2023.
the girl with the pink hair,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and the thong. That one. I don't know how else. I mean, that's pretty. That's hitting the nail on the head there. Uh, yeah, her dude. Like,
Mhm.
there's like they have characters that like are like that, and it's like you've seen them for a while, and it's like whatever, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, like damn, I got all these feels now for this character, and like
Yeah. Yeah. Another honorable mention for Isekai's Jobless Reincarnate.
I haven't seen that one.
I
I'm familiar with it though. That's the one where the guy, if I'm not mistaken, isn't that one called Mashoko Tensei in Japanese?
yes,
Okay,
yes.
yeah, I know which one it is. It's the guy that the funeral and he doesn't even show up, and
He doesn't show up. Yep, because he's in his room.
yeah, just he's just an otaku. I get it. I understand.
Yeah,
I there's so many shows that I haven't seen, but like I read up on the premise, or like I've seen like a YouTube video that's like, here's some anime that you should maybe check out that's airing this season.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
No,
have such a big list and catalog already.
I started that one and it started exactly like you said it was, and I was like, okay, like this is like one of those like throwaway ones. Like I'll watch it, I'll enjoy it, but it's not. No, I went through that roller coaster of emotions, roller
Yeah,
coaster of emotions.
I've heard it's pretty
It's
pretty serious.
it's
Deals with a lot of
really
stuff.
good. Yes, yes, really good. Okay.
Hold on,
Fourth
real
on the
quick.
list.
Let me
Yeah.
give one honorable mention myself to an isekai,
Mhm.
specifically to season one because I am not acknowledging that season two exists, even though
All
I
right, now I know what you're gonna say.
Devil's a part timer. Do you think
Damn,
that's what I was gonna say?
I really think I'm on to something. No, I'm not. I thought you were gonna say Sword Art Online.
Bro, we're not gonna talk. Sword Art Online was a gateway. Sword Art Online was a gateway drug for me as a video gamer to get
Uh,
into anime, and
yes,
and
same.
it was one of like when I originally watched it, I was like, dude, this is so fucking good. Kirito, the Black Swordsman, so badass.
Yes,
And then
yes.
I saw good anime, and I was like, well, I'm really happy that introduced me to this. But like, nah,
No, no,
it's really not that good actually in hindsight.
no, not him saying he's so good anime. No, I will, I will die on the hill defending Sword Art Online. I genuinely will.
The first half season of it, I think, is really good. But like, dude, Log Horizon does it better. That's the show that deserves an honorable mention in terms of isekai. Log,
I
Log
watched
Horizon.
the first couple episodes of Log Horizon, and I thought it was just a Sword Art Online clone, and I was like, I'm not doing
Oh,
this. I'm gonna give it a try
I feel like
earlier. I mean,
should
later on,
yeah.
but right now I'm just.
It's
I,
not
I haven't even caught up with Sword Art Online though.
it's not as action. And dude, I've seen I've seen both seasons. I've seen Gun Gale. I've watched it, and
Have you seen the latest ones? There's Alicization, there's
no,
Underworld,
no,
there's the
no. The
movies.
last one I saw was just the first like season of Gun Gale Online,
Oh, oh.
where Kirito got their long hair and their saber.
A lot of people don't like. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed him cutting bullets in half. I thought that was sick.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was cool. It makes sense. They're like one like OP trait that carried over from the other game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I don't mind
Um.
like an OP power when it's
Mm-hmm.
properly explained. For instance,
Yeah.
One Punch
Yep.
Man. Like, and they hate it.
Yep.
They're literally like I fucking hate this power because I can't ever fight anything because I just immediately win.
No, I get that. Yeah. 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 Okay. Fourth, Steins Gate.
Hell yeah, and both because I know a lot of people hate on the second season, and I'm like, second season is it's good.
Steins Gate slap.
I there's I
Mhm.
there,
Mhm.
I don't want to spoil too much, but when an anime, kind of brings maybe a particular song back in at a certain point, I really don't know if like maybe Gurren Lagann or that show, they like I probably the two for me in terms of
Mhm.
shows that bring they're like, oh yeah, shit's about to get hype. Remember this song, and then you're like, oh yes I do. So yeah, Steins Gate for sure. Also, one of the like time without getting too into spoilers, you know what it's about. That is such a murky area that's usually like
Mhm.
not
Mhm.
navigated well whatsoever. And
Yep. Yep.
I'm not saying that the show does it perfectly. It's
But they do a damn sure good job of
they
doing it.
do it they do a really really good job with that element.
Mhm. Mhm. Yes, they fucking do. And last, and then I'll let you go. I also wanted to watch another
Yeah, I was
episode of
supposed to go
season
pee like
four,
forever
three,
ago,
and
and then we like kept just. It was just fine.
good.
I'm having a good time, man. We'll have to do this again, but
For
for
sure,
sure, yeah, for
definitely.
sure. All right, number five.
Last, number
Drum roll,
five.
drum roll. DBZ.
Berserk.
All right, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough,
Okay,
man.
and last thing. Where I just had it. There are four main categories that you should know, right? There's shonen, which is what we typically watch, like
Okay, yeah, I know
Dragon Ball,
Shannon.
Bleach.
Yeah.
There's seinen, which is for ages 15 to 24, young adults, right? Like Berserk. It says Ghost in the Shell, Akira, Hellsing,
Neon
things like that.
Genesis, maybe something like Code Geass.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then there's shoujo, right? It's the opposite of shonen. Shonen, shoujo. Shoujo's young girl. And then there's I don't know how to say this properly. It's Josei. I just say it's Jose, right? And that's aimed for adult women. And the examples for that are Loveless, Paradise Kiss, '07 Ghost.
Fruits Basket.
Um, I think Fruits Basket would fall under shoujo.
Okay.
Jose. Oh, and favorite movie? I Want to Eat Your Pancreas.
I haven't seen that actually.
It's so good.
I'll have to check it out.
I cried twice watching that movie. Like in this, like it's not even like I cried, rewatched it, cried again. Like I cried. The movie kept going, and then I cried again. Like, it's
You,
I know there's the typical your name and a
okay. So
right?
damn it, you're gonna have to really hit me with. I was. Oh man.
Because they're like the top two. Like when you talk about movies, when you talk about anime movies,
Yeah.
those are like your top two.
They hit a certain way.
Yes, I Want to Eat Your Pancreas though had me in a chokehold. I watched it, cried twice, told a friend about it. We watched it. He cried. I cried again. Then we got all his friends in the dorm to watch it. We all watched it. We all cried. It.
Bro, I've been
It's
I've been really
good.
wanting to do like a watch night recently. Not recently, but for some time now. But I haven't had the opportunity to because my computer has been shit fed. But because I was so generously gifted a brand new computer, I don't have to worry about that.
Nice.
Yes, it's incredibly nice. It's ridiculous. The computer and boasts the generous. But I would love to do maybe like a movie night, and that'd be a great movie to watch.
Want to Eat Your Pancreas is a phenomenal movie.
I've heard good things about it, not just from you, but online. And I only know as much as I know about it from seeing like thumbnails and like some like little images maybe I saw like on Reddit or something. But other than that, I know nothing. Also, though, I will say honorable mention because you're 100% correct. Your name is still to this date my favorite film. I have rewatched that movie. I almost feel like rewatching it tonight, and I felt like doing that before we started talking. I'm just in it, bro. My partner lives across the fucking world.
Yeah.
The
This
movie
hits you on a different level.
Well, and the thing is, like, it hit me on a different level when when I saw it in theaters years ago, and then I started dating someone that I can't just go see. As painful as that is, it's the reality of it, and it took something that I had already loved and cherished, and it made me just appreciate it more.
All the more.
But it does make it a little more painful because it's like the pain that the main characters are feeling is now more relatable. But so Your Name, animation, soundtrack fucking phenomenal. Story beautiful, little silly kind of rom-com, coming of age, star-crossed lovers, all those things. It's beautiful. and I appreciate that, and that is like still like I'd say my favorite film. Um, but dude, also a silent voice. It
Yes.
man, it is
Yes.
it's so good. It just they hit so differently. They're completely
Mhm.
different vibes in different movies.
Mhm.
Um, but man, a silent voice is also so good. But I have to say, while I'm still here, before we go,
Mhm.
Princess Mononoke. That's my favorite Ghibli film, and if it wasn't for Your Name, that would still be my favorite movie. But the the I would say hopeless romantic in me,
Mhm.
but it's not hopeless anymore. It's the hopeful romantic in me that has pushed Your Name to be favorite, not only film but also anime. And I have to give those shout outs to Prince. It takes second place, and I
This is
will
definitely a film I
have
haven't watched,
ooh
but this was going to be the next film that I did watch. Like
Princess
it's
Mononoke.
it's yes, it is next
Oh,
on the list
I
because
you will
there's a
not.
Studio Ghibli like chart of people just like, oh, you gotta watch this, and I'm looking at the chart and I'm like, okay, like it's Ghibli. The animation looks really good, and I'm
It's
like,
yeah, it's Sheila. Yeah,
this one strikes me the most, and I want to see what this one's
I
about.
have seen almost every Ghibli film, and like I said, if it wasn't for the fact that am a hopeful romantic at heart,
Hmm.
um, Princess Mononoke. There's I really like things that stand the test of time because Princess
Hmm.
Mononoke came out some time ago. Oh
I think it says 1997. Yeah, it
yeah,
does. 1997.
and you can watch that movie today, and it is literally just as relevant today as if it had just released.
Hmm.
It's timeless, and I think that's just watch it. Cop, not cop. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I called you cop. I know you're so. Oh god. Also, where the fuck is cop at? We've been having this.
No, it's way past Cobb's bedtime. He goes to bed. What time is it now? It's 4:44. He goes to bed
Jesus,
four
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 forty
hours and
four.
44 minutes
Yeah, it
ago.
is 4.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's alright. The vault will be up. Maybe I'll put
Yeah.
this on YouTube. Um, no, I would love for you to watch Mononoke, and then
Hmm.
for us to have another nice little anime chat. Like maybe we could make this more of like a routine thing.
Yeah, that sounds good. I wanted to finish. Well, I definitely wouldn't have been able to finish My Hero tonight. I would have gone through a good majority of it. I'll probably get like two more episodes done.
Aren't you?
But what I'll
Didn't
do
you?
is I'll finish My Hero. I'll let you know when I finish that, and then I'll probably also watch Mononosuke in the meantime as well, and then we can probably talk about both of those.
Okay. There's no S in that, but
My fault.
that's all good. Um, no, actually, that sounds dope because, like I already told you earlier, my favorite episode, and I'll tell you my second favorite episode. You probably already know. It's season 3. It's United States of Smash. It's because I didn't put my back into it. I mean, like you can't really. And then I'd say if I had to pick a third episode, it would be
Mhm.
Dekugo. Dekugo. Jesus Christ, fucking fan shipping stuff over here. It would be Deku versus Muscular on the cliffside with Coda.
That was good. That was a good one. That was a good one for sure.
Or you know what? Another honorable mention of one, but I don't want to spoil it too much. But it's the Lemillion episode from season 4.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Lem-
I
he's
you
the
know I
he's the
really I really didn't even like them that much either. I thought they were just a goofy like Fallout bobblehead looking character, and I was like, who is this naked man that just shifts through walls and loses their clothes? And then you know what I mean. That moment happens, and I'm like, holy shit. You know what I felt like in that moment? I was like, dude, this is a hero. Like
yes,
that is a
yes,
hero. That is what it
yes.
means
He
to be
is
a
a
hero.
he is a hero. He's a
He is a hero.
true
He is a
hero.
true
He,
hero.
when he, I think I enjoyed him beating up the entire class. I was like, yeah, he doesn't have any powers. He like his only powers is to like phase through stuff. That's just him. He's just him. And I'm like, oh yes,
He is that
I
guy.
love Lemillion. I love Lemillion.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't, and then I it was like, and I was like, oh yeah, now they're great. Now they're fine. They're all great. They're great. They're cool, man. I'm all about them. All right, cop. I said
Not
that time that was on purpose.
not cop again.
That time it was on purpose as a joke. All right, all
Oh,
right,
okay.
all right. So, hey man,
Oh,
thanks. Yo,
last thing. I know we
oh
keep
boy,
saying last thing, last thing.
I'm gonna piss
Um,
my pants, bro. It's fine.
last thing for real, for real. And then I'll just hit you with the Irish goodbye and just fucking bounce. Um, if there's a good movie, it's not even an hour long. It's short. The animation is phenomenal. And the hopeless romantic in you will love this. It's called The Garden of Words.
The Garden of Words.
The Garden of Words.
Uh, Um,
Short. When you get free time, watch it.
how
You'll love it.
family friendly is that? Like, what would you say?
Very
Like,
fan,
fam-
very, very fan. Like the romance in it is
romance is
good, and
okay as long as it's not, like
there's nothing. Yeah, nothing crazy.
we don't want the the when but
Whatever you're talking about, it's not it. I typed it in your chat.
all
You
right,
go
man.
piss and have a great night,
You
brother.
have a great night too as well. Thank you so much. I had a great time arguing with you about anime and telling you how shit your opinions were. Um,
Yes, the best argument I've ever had.
we'll do it again sometime soon, man. After you watch My Hero and Princess Mononoke.
No, no, stay up.
Mononoke.
It's Mononoke.
That's all right, brother. All right, man. You take care.
You as well.
Thank you.